Good day, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing? I believe that some of us are busy with assignments or preparing for finals. I wish you guys all the best for that, and I hope everyone is keeping safe amidst this pandemic. I'd like to welcome all of you to our financial sharing session tonight. My name is Haris, and I am the Assistant Director of Marketing, Publicity and Promotions of Thales AKPK Club. It is my pleasure to be the MC for tonight. Can move on to the second slide. Without further ado, we from Thales AKPK Club are very happy that all of you are here to join us for some fun, and I am excited to get to know each other more. By now, I'm positive that most of you here, especially our club members, have heard about the Thales AKPK, right? Just a brief welcome and introduction to our newly established club. AKPK stands for Agency Counseling and Pengurusan Credit, or Credit Counseling and Debt Management. It may sound quite icky and scary for us university students, but trust me, educating yourself to be smart financially could actually make a change in our lifestyle now and in the future. What is AKPK? Technically, AKPK is Counseling and Financial Management. It's education by agents by Bank Negara Malaysia. So Thales AKPK is, as we affiliated with AKPK, we aim to educate the youth to become financially smart. The purpose is instill awareness about the importance of prudent financial management among youth. So can we move on to another slide? So the topic for today's money talk is Budgeting 101. The overview for this topic are tools to prioritize spending, how to spend your first salary, different saving accounts, budgeting for purchase assets, credit and debit cards. But before that, let me introduce our distinguished speaker for tonight, Dr. Shantini, who is currently the Program Director of PG Programs with the School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events at Thales University. She is a certified financial planner and a member of Financial Planning Association of Malaysia since 2009. She has over 20 years of work experience in the public and private sectors in Malaysia. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to Dr. Shantini. Dr. Shantini?
Thank you, Harith, for that kind introduction. I would like to thank the Taylor's AKPK Club for the invitation for this sharing session on the Money Talk. Just give me a second to share my screen. Okay, here you go. Okay, is that good? Everyone can see?
Yes, Doctor. Can.
Okay, great. Let me just make this bigger. Yeah. Yes, so thank you very much for inviting me here for the financial sharing session, right, or Money Talk Budgeting 101 tonight. I think thanks to all the participants also for making it here this evening. Hope you've had your dinner or perhaps having your dinner as well. So yes, I am Shantini Thureselva. A little bit about myself. I am a certified financial planner as well as a member of the Financial Planning Association of Malaysia. I got started with my bachelor's degree in accounting, finance and economics a long time ago. I followed up with the Masters of Finance, which I still enjoy doing. And lately, just last year before, I finished my PhD in business. And my main topic was financial planning. Okay, so I've actually given talks before for the Student Success Center. And yes, I do enjoy talking to young people about financial planning. So today we're looking at Budgeting 101. So I'm going to start off with just a small introduction to financial planning. So in terms of budgeting, two main areas, right, being your income and your expenses. So under income, you have your cash management, and under expenses, more the credit management. So here we will look at, yes, what are your credit cards, loans, and so on. Now, why financial planning, you may ask? So financial planning itself covers 6 very important areas. right? So today we're going to focus on the first area, which is the cash and credit management. This can be followed by with tax planning, right? We have insurance planning, investment planning, retirement planning, and lastly, estate planning. You don't have to be frightened with these areas. Once you start working and getting into the flow of things, definitely you will have to do all these things eventually. So it's so much better to start off with a plan. So again, why do we need this? Definitely you will have increased effectiveness in obtaining, using, and protecting your financial resources throughout your life. So it is important to maintain some sort of income, right, as we move on through our life cycle. It also gives you an increased control of your financial affairs by avoiding excessive debt, bankruptcy, and dependence on others. It also improves personal relationships from a well-planned and effectively communicated financial decisions. And at the end of the day, you will enjoy a sense of freedom from financial worries obtained by looking to the future, anticipating your expenses, and achieving your personal goals. Do you see the baby sleeping there? It was so cute, right? So if you have a financial plan, definitely you will be able to sleep better at night instead of constantly being worried about where your finances are going. Now, this is a nice graph showing the life cycle of financial planning. So financial planning itself is a fluid and dynamic activity. If you look at the age, right, where we start off, right, from here, at age, so you're roughly around here. Anyone older than 20 in the group? No, all about there. Okay. Oh, nobody is older than 20. All right. No, I'm looking through. Okay, I don't see any hands up. Okay, no one's older than 20. So, yep, this is a good place to start right about here. So here you normally will start off with the first stage, which is on building wealth. So as a young adult, right, you could be looking to, of course, finish your education, start working, right, and then you have your family formation years. So during this time, right, definitely you will be incurring some form of debts, right? You would have your consumption and savings. Slowly, as we move on through the years, you have your insurance planning, right? This is where the family is growing, and start looking into your investments. Now, in stage 2, this is where you're looking at preserving and increasing wealth, right? So here we've got the family also starts to mature around this time. And now you're looking at estate as well as tax planning. In the last stage, right? Last stage is stage 3. We need to be living on saved wealth and definitely ensuring our retirement planning. So let's look at the first part, budgeting. Where do we start? Okay, so we can start with what are the types of financial goals that you should be looking at. There are 3 main goals, right? One is your short-term goal within the next 12 months, your medium-term goal, 2 to 5 years, and then the long-term goal being more than 5 years. So budgeting means planning for successful money management, right? Also a system for personal financial records and a personal financial statement for measuring financial progress. So not just having a plan, but you also need a good record keeping system as well. So what do I mean by this? Okay, this has come from a textbook. So all sorts of documents need to be safely kept, right? This is in conjunction with our budget as well. So if we start with personal and employment records, right? For example, once you start working, definitely you would need to safe keep your letter of offer from your company, right? If you have signed your contract of employment, you might of course want to read it and keep that safely. In this case, it's a US, so they say social security number. For us, most likely it will be numbers like our EPF number, income tax number, and so on. Moving on, we have our money management records. Okay, So in this money management record, you would need to have your budget, right? What is your current budget, any sort of personal financial statement, and also a list of your financial goals, right? What is it you are aiming for? Number three are tax records. So in Malaysia, our tax system is fairly simple, right? Fairly easy to understand. And of course, the sort of location of your records. Nowadays, it's very little paper. I myself actually have a ring file, very simple ring file, right? All my personal records fit into my ring file, or with online documents, your simple hard drive or computer would do, right? So with text documents, sorry? So previously with text documents, we needed to print and all that. Now with e-filing, everything can be kept online, which includes your receipts as well. So you can scan your receipts and your attachments and keep that together. Number four are your financial services records. Now in this case, they're talking about checkbooks and bank statements, your savings account statements, as well as the location and the number of your safety deposit box. A lot of people have safety deposit box, but if something happens to them, nobody knows where the box is or even what is the number of the box, okay? But in terms of checkbooks, I think these things are fairly obsolete. This is my checkbook. I had to go and look for it because I haven't written a check since, hang on, let me check. Since 2005, right? So checks have become fairly obsolete unless you are running a business. There are still some businesses that use checkbook. Like I said, I think 2005 was 17 years ago. Yeah, you know, as an individual, you don't really need to use them, right? Because we have internet banking. In terms of credit records, right? Very important to keep your credit statements, any sorts of, and then emergency numbers of your credit card bank. Just in case something happens to your wallet or your purse, you can straight away call the bank and cancel your cards. Then comes consumer purchases, especially your automobile records. So you have decided to buy a car, you would want to keep documents such as the warranties, right? The receipt, any sort of servicing and repair records, your car registration card, right, from JPJ, and of course your owner's manual, right? So all this again can go into your file. If you have purchased a property like your house, definitely you need to keep copies of your sales and purchase agreement, your payments for assessment, right? Cukai taksiran, your quit rent, your cukai tanah. If you bought your house with a bank loan, then of course all the bank loan documents. Okay, so these are very important documents. Why? Because one day you may want to sell your property. And if you sell, then the lawyer will request for all these documents to be in order before the property can be sold and transferred to the buyer. Insurance records. Again, all your original insurance policies must be there, right? Your premiums, payable, any sort of medical checkup that you have gone for, and insurance claims, all right? This is to help your next of kin, you know, when the time comes to make a claim. Your investment records, any sorts of investments you have made in shares, right? Any sort of FD certificate numbers, who is your, you know, you may have a brokerage or a remiser, their contact details, and so on. Lastly would be your estate planning and retirement records. I know this would seem like very far away, but at some point, you would need to prepare a valid will. All right, I say valid because you need to follow the rules of according to the law when preparing your will, but that is a different talk. Okay, your pension plan information, and of course other details like your EPF number. Okay, so what not to keep? Do you see the waste paper basket here? Right, waste paper basket. So in this case, you don't have to keep receipts for small non-deductible expenses, right? So if you're going to buy bread, no need receipt, okay? There's nothing you can do with it. You only keep receipts for items that you can claim for, right? Under your income tax. And of course, expired documents. You might have expired warranties. Maybe you still have the warranty for the table fan you bought 10 years ago. You may get rid of that document. Okay, so off and on, do go through what's in the file. Then we have a shredder. Why is a shredder important? Now, a lot of these documents contain a lot of your personal details. It would definitely have your name, address, your account numbers, and sometimes with savings and fixed deposit accounts, your total is there. So people can see how much that you have in these accounts. So definitely you need to get rid of them in such a way that no one can retrieve the information from what you throw away. All right, yeah, in this case, documents that you no longer need. And again, with internet banking, with environmental concerns, if you really don't need a paper statement, you can definitely get your bank to email it to you. All right, I think I've gotten rid of most of my paper. No more credit card statements, paper based. I think I only insist on one investment summary that they send to me every month. Okay, apart from that, everything is available online. Okay, moving on. So in a budget, too many days and not enough money, right? We definitely feel this. So since every journey begins with a single step, right? One of the great modern inventions now is the mobile phone, right? You may use any one of the many mobile apps that are available on your app store. Okay, so you can search for budget, right? I found a few. You can look for money manager. So a lot of these apps will help you to set your savings goal, right? Track your spending as well as your cash flow. Okay, so I've got some shots here, and they will have like a flexible dashboard for you in order to help you to monitor your savings and your spendings. So you can set some spending limits. And normally in the analysis, they will show you a nice chart as to where you are spending. I'm not sure if any of you all are internet banking users with Maybank. So Maybank to you now has come up with a lot of functions in their banking. So in my credit card statement, they will show me how much I've spent on insurance, how much I've spent on fashion, right, and things like that. You can also set your goal on the Maybank website. So what happens is, if let's say I set a goal and I say I want to save 200 ringgit every month, somehow that money will magically disappear from my balance and go into a sort of a account which is separate from my main account, and that balance will continue to accumulate. So lots of these interesting things that are available on internet banking. What are some of the consequences of poor budgeting? At the end, what will happen, if you start defaulting on payments, particularly your loans, right? It will take many months of notices of demand. The bank will, of course, send you lawyer's notes, right? Notice of demand. But at the end of the day, it will result in bankruptcy, right? That is the worst that can happen. And who are the people who are caught in this? Well, since you're sort of 20 years old, maybe not you yet. So if you're below 25 years old, you are still safe, right? But wait till you get a little bit older. The biggest group here is from the age of 25 until 54. Why? Because we are in stage 2. Isn't it? Sort of stage 1 and stage 2. You are building your wealth on one side and you are trying to preserve your investments. So this group makes up roughly 80%, this age group. You have an 80% makeup of the bankruptcy numbers in Malaysia. So the only time that you are really safe is when you are before 25 or above 55 years old. Okay, so these are sort of these are the formative years of our lives as adults. What is the other reason? Next we look at poor budgeting. What are the reasons? Why do people get into financial trouble, right? So perhaps, the lack of poor budgeting. If you look at all the loans that they have taken, so the number one cause, all right, or reasons for going bankrupt is the personal loan. If you look at the statistics, let's go right to the end here. Almost 30% of those declared bankrupt have not been able to pay on their personal loans, all right? One of the reasons being that a personal loan is a there is no collateral that comes with the loan. All right. Now, of course, Bank Negara has instituted a couple of guidelines, right? I think the maximum loan tenure for personal loan is 9 years. The second highest reason is for hire purchase, or in other words, car loans. Car loans, again, are roughly around 20 to 25% of defaulters. What does this mean? Maybe people are buying cars that they really cannot afford to pay for, right? Got flash, but no cash, right? So you're buying flashy vehicles, but you just cannot make the payments and maintain those cars. If you look at it, 20 to 25% of defaulters. The third group is the housing loan. So they are much less, in percentage, between 14 to about 20%, all right, of defaulters cannot pay their housing loan. Again, this could be due to many reasons. One of reasons why you cannot pay your loans could be a loss of employment, right? So this is where your emergency funds come in. Business loan, very small percentage, on average about 10% of bankrupts could not pay their business loans. Credit card comes somewhere right here, okay, about 10%, not very many. Then comes the guarantors. Again, while the percentage is small, I do have to mention, try not to be a guarantor or even then ask someone to be a guarantor for you. You should, maybe guarantor for family members can't be helped, right? Or even good friends. But you must remember your responsibility as a guarantor is to pay the debt if the person holding the debt cannot pay it. Okay, at the end of the day, you must look at the amount and see, can I afford this? Right? If the person I'm guaranteeing cannot pay for some reason, then the loan falls onto me. So a number of people, of course, have not been able to pay on the debt that they have guaranteed. Now you've got a social guarantor and a corporate guarantor. Social guarantor tend to be sometimes politicians. Politicians will just sign without checking, right? There have been some exclusions in this, but at the end of the day, just be wary. Then comes those who are unable to pay their income tax, education loans and scholarship, and others. Okay, so top 3 reasons to be wary of is your personal loan, your car loan, and your housing loan. Okay. Now, where to save? Okay, where to save? Best place to start is to have a savings account, right? Can I have a quick show of hands? Everybody got savings account? Oh God. Okay. I see 2 people with savings account. That's it. The rest no savings account. Okay. Oh, quite a number of you. All right. If you are Malaysian and below 18 years of age, okay, you actually get a special interest on your savings account, right? Because you're still considered a child, and so you have special child privileges. And if you don't make any withdrawals of this account, you get a special bonus at the end of the year. All right, so always good to have. Anyway, all this will last until you are 18. So once you turn 18, they will convert the account into a regular savings account. So what are some of the characteristics of a savings account? Typically, very low interest. I think nowadays it's even less, I think less than 1% for savings accounts. But it does come with the conveniences of an ATM card. So now the Malaysian ATM card has really evolved. Okay, so this is mine. Okay, my ATM card. It comes with a debit account function as well, right? So with the debit account, a lot of conveniences are available. So you can make debit payments, right? Don't have to carry so much cash around. I think we also have the wave functions. Quite fun, right? Wave it about. Those days we used to have the Max Strike. Oh, still got, okay, nobody uses it. All comes with the chip and RFID. And yes, we also have internet banking, which is a wonderful tool. I have been an internet banking user for 15 years now, right? No problems. You just have to be mindful of the safeguards, your passwords, and so on. Just as many people are not internet banking users, okay? I have a family member who is very anti-internet banking. Oh well, can't help it. Then we have the current account. Now, current account is not an easy account to open. Most banks are normally very reluctant to open a current account for you. So this is the, you normally need an introducer because number one, the account has no interest, okay? It's purely to give you a checkbook for your business transactions. Some current accounts, if you apply, it comes with an overdraft facility, but these are mainly for business use. And the government is strongly discouraging the use of checks. So much so now, every time you write a check, you need to pay 1 ringgit for processing. It used to be 50 cents and then it went up to 1 ringgit, you know, but like I said, haven't written a check since 2005. Then comes the fixed deposit account. Fixed deposit is more of a savings tool. It is of low risk, okay? Also low interest, but higher than the savings account, but it comes with a fixed duration, meaning that you can put it into a fixed deposit account for 3 months, for 6 months, 12 months, and you will earn a higher corresponding rate of interest. So currently the interest rate is about 3%, right? 3.15, okay, depending on what the bank is offering. So you need to keep that money there. Up to you. If you say 12 months, you need to keep it there for 12 months. Then they will pay you the interest. If you want to take out halfway, then there will be penalties. Okay, but the fixed deposit is a good savings and investment tools. In fact, it's hugely popular in Malaysia, particularly with retirees. So retirees would keep a sum of money and they would tend to live off the interest as income. But unfortunately, you know, in these times, the interest is really low. Previously, you could get 6%, 8%. I think about 15 years ago, you could actually get up to 10%. I remember Hong Leong Bank, those days very popular. Hong Leong Bank was giving up to 11% at one time. Okay, but no more, those days are gone. Next comes investments, right? So if you're looking to save via investments, then you need to look at the risk as well as the return of the investment. You would also want to look at how liquid the investment is. How quickly can we turn this investment into cash? Okay, liquid is better, of course, versus illiquid investments. So one of the top places you could put your money in is property. So property can be a house, right? Residential property or commercial property like shop lots. So while it's risky, okay, it does promise a high return. However, investment in property is fairly illiquid, meaning that I cannot sell this house today and get my money tomorrow. Okay, the transaction will take at least 4 months. Okay, 4 months to process, assuming that you have a buyer. Then you can also use unit trust. You can save your money in unit trust. There are many companies, right? Many banks in Malaysia offering unit trust investments. And one good thing about it is, yes, if you choose the good fund, you can get a good return, and it is a fairly liquid investment. So you can sell today and you can have your cash within the week. Share market, on the other hand, very high risk, but potentially high return as well, and also fairly liquid. Assuming you can sell your shares today, you would actually have your money by tomorrow in your share margin account. Then, of course, we have other types of unconventional investments, which also act as savings tools. There are people who would invest or save their money in gold, right? Gold keeps its value quite well. Some people like to buy silver. You can also buy diamonds if you want to. You can go one up. You can buy fine bottles of wine, right? You can invest in art, but these are considered highly unconventional and highly risky as well. Okay, so various types of ways to save money. So at the end of the day, normally what is recommended is for you to have portfolio diversification. Have everything. Have a savings account, right? Current account you need. Have a fixed deposit. Okay, eventually one property, some unit trust, some shares, some gold. Okay, and you have a diversified portfolio. portfolio. Next, let's look at debt. Okay, debt, one of the simplest forms of consumer credit is through credit cards. Right. So how evil are credit cards? At the end of the day, hang on, got my samples. I got two here. These are my credit cards. So now these credit cards look like ATM cards, because the ATM cards also function as debit cards. But these are credit cards, one MasterCard, one Visa. Again, we have Bank Negara. Bank Negara Malaysia is the regulator of banks in Malaysia, and they have come up with many stringent rules on the usage of credit cards. If I'm not mistaken, nowadays you can't hold more than 2 cards, and if you're just starting out, your credit limit is limited to twice your income. So if you're earning 3,000 ringgit a month, your credit limit is only up to 6,000. These are for first-time users. So this is to prevent, I suppose, young people, right, from getting, and those with low incomes, for getting in over their heads, especially with credit card debt. Okay. Next come, of course, your car loan. Okay. Now the car loan, what we say car loan is, we normally mean a hire purchase, right? So HP. Hire purchase, of course, comes with its own sets of rules and regulation. In Malaysia, the law says that the duration of your car loan cannot be more than 9 years. So 9 years is the maximum duration for the car. Similarly, for home loans, here we normally say loans, we don't say mortgage. Mortgage is more of a US term, right? US term, I think Citibank and Stanchart, they all tend to use the term mortgage. Your home loan maximum duration is 35 years. And I think you need to check as well. I think you can't take a home loan if you are more than, I think, 55 or 60 years old, right? So you need to plan properly when is a good time to buy your property. Then comes the personal loan. At one point, the issuance of personal loan was quite rampant. That's why you notice it was the #1 reason for default, right, for bankruptcies. Again, Bank Negara has come down hard on this. They have set the duration for 9 years now, all right, and also set a limit as to how much loan can be given out, looking at the applicant's income, because these loans are unsecured. So what is it that you need to ask about debt, or when you are going to purchase a large item? For cars and houses, you need to find out how much is your down payment. The law says you need to put down 10% as down payment. So if you are buying a car, Myvi, 56,000, definitely your down payment is 5,600 cash. All right. Similarly with property, down payment 10%. If you're buying a property with 800,000, you must put in your 80,000. All right, cash. The rest of it you can borrow. Are you looking at a flexible or a fixed interest rate? Normally for cars, it is, car loan now is about 4%, right? It's quite low. Housing loan, you can look at fixed or flexible rates. I have opted for a flexible rate because the rates now are actually pretty low, okay, for both. Look at, also check how much, how many installments. Now this is important for your budgeting, isn't it? Right? If you are going to take, let's say a 5-year car loan, you need to make sure that every month you are able to pay the installments, monthly installments for 60 months. And also check what is the penalty if you miss a payment or if you pay late. So even if you pay, you need to pay on time. If you need to pay by the 18th, it's the 18th, not the 19th, right? If you pay late, then you will incur your late payment penalties. So do some research before getting into that. Why? Because sometimes we have what is known as good debt and what is known as bad debt. Okay, ordinarily, I would open a discussion as to what is good debt versus bad debt. All right. In this case, I will just let you know. Now, a good debt normally means you are investing, right? The money is being used for investment. Normally, property is a good investment because it tends to appreciate in time. What about a car loan? Do you think that's a good debt or bad debt?
Bad debt.
Yes, right? Why? Any reason?
Because you continually to make the payment.
Correct. But what happens to the value of the car?
You are using it. The value of the car is decreasing all the time, right?
So when you're using it for assets that depreciate like the car, right, it keeps going lower and lower, then we normally consider those bad debts. Okay, similar to credit cards, they're normally not considered good. What else do I have there? Home, yes, good loan. Okay, personal loan, bad debt. All right, at the end of the day. Okay, so this is the sort of translation for good debt and bad debt. So you don't have to say that all debt is bad. Okay. Here's a little joke. It's a joke on Dilbert, right? Dilbert, one of a good cartoon character, talking about a work-life balance. Okay, so what is his friend saying? The secret to having a rewarding work-life balance is to have no life. Then it's easy to keep things balanced by doing no work. Right? So simple and yet so genius. Right? It's hiding in plain sight. Okay, quite interesting, but don't follow what the cartoon is doing. Okay, is everyone ready for a Kahoot session? Okay, all got your Kahoots. Okay, let me just stop sharing this for a minute. Okay, I'll let you get your Kahoots out while I generate the pin. Okay, are you ready? So the pin code here is 684155. Okay, there's Dan. Okay, anyone else quickly come in? Who's me? E equals MC2, all right, nice. Jeannie, Jack, Alex. There's X and there's Y. Do we have a Z? Okay, a few more seconds. Okay, 23 players. Here we go. Start. Okay, budgeting 101. Are you ready? So when it comes to saving money, what is a good rule of thumb? Keeping most of your savings in a current account, choose the savings account with the lowest interest rate, put aside money for savings each month. Yeah. Hey, who got it wrong? Okay, Afiq has started the ball rolling. Next, question number 2. The purpose of a budget is to Okay, most of you got it right. Help you to plan how you will spend the money you earn or receive. Next, question number 3. Oh, who's on top? Afiq, you are maintaining your lead. Y is catching up. In the financial planning life cycle, stage 1 is for first stage. What is it you need to do? Very good. Building wealth, right? So it's building wealth first, preserving and increasing wealth, and last one, living on saved wealth. Let's see who's made it. Undisputed champion so far. All right. Okay, the others work harder to knock Afiq off. Question number 4. Poor budgeting can ultimately lead to all correct. All right. Clap from me. Okay, Afiq still on top. Way to go. Question number 5. Budgeting is only for the rich and famous. True or false? Oh, true lah. Okay, good.
Sorry, who answers true? Who answered true?
Next, question number 6. The following financial documents are important for record keeping, except yes, not receipts from 7-Eleven. No need. All these small receipt items are not necessary. You definitely need to keep your savings account statements, your credit card statements, and your income tax filings. No need to say already who's on top. Question number 7. Personal relationships can be improved with effectively communicated financial decisions. True or false? Okay. 22-1. Yes, it is true. Okay, wow, 6,000 plus points. Who else? Let's take a quick look at the bottom. Question number 8. The highest percentage of bankruptcies are caused by what? What is the reason? The number 1 reason. Okay, good. Yes, personal loans, right? Which is why Bank Negara has come down hard on this loan product, okay, by imposing many rules and guidelines. Oh, sorry. Number 9. Which one of the following is known as a good debt? Okay, yes, your property loan known as a good debt. The rest of them not so good, all right, or bad debt. Okay, Afiq closely followed by M and J. Catch up, Alex. Last question. When buying a car, all the following are important, except what do we need to look out for? Do we need to find out the down payment? What is the interest rate? Is the color of the car, as well as the installment payment? Yes, color, right? It doesn't matter what color the car is.
I mean, except with one condition, if your favorite color is something, then you have to get that color. Yeah. I mean, whether you got gray or something, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but not for budgeting. Okay.
All right.
Number
Congrats,
2.
Afi and the top 3 winners. Afiq, M, and J. So do DM us. We have prizes. DM us at Tellus AKPK to claim your prize. Also, thank you for joining the game.
Okay, wow, all 10 out of 10. Very good. Okay, so yes, that was a good refresher. I think nice to know that everyone was paying attention, right? So these are some basic questions. Okay, let me move on to the second half. Oh wait, I need to turn the sound off on this. 1 second. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the second part of the effective budgeting. So step one, right, as we mentioned before, step one is setting your financial goals. So as soon as you start work, right, you're receiving an income, then you can start projecting what is your income going to be over the next year or the next 2 years, right? You know, maybe even 5 years, depending on how long you're going to be working. Some of you all may decide to be entrepreneurs, right? Even as entrepreneurs, you would have some estimate of your income. So step one would be setting financial goals. So you could be wanting to, you know, maybe buy a car or looking to buy a house. Step two, of course, estimating your income, right? So what I was saying, again, you know, nowadays I find young people are quite flexible in terms of how they earn an income. So most likely you may have a day job, right? You could have something that you do part-time, right? You could have, I know a number of people who DJ, right? Who DJ part-time on weekends. Of course, now the clubs are closed, right? But before that, even some could be members of a band. Then also you can also earn another set of income on the side. But that's a separate talk altogether. So I'm compressing it. You could be an agent as well. Many become insurance agents, unit trust agents, or even going into multi-level marketing. So, you know, potentially you could even earn 3 different types of incomes. So when another good money-making hobby is some of y'all may be good bakers, right? So you could be selling chocolate chips or cookies, right? And cakes on the side as well. So all this will contribute to your income. Step 3 would be to budget for emergency fund and savings. So next, I put there, watch out, right? Watch out for your budget busters. There's actually LIFE, it's LIFE there. So sometimes listed expenses are often underestimated, right? In your estimation, it was something, the real amount could be different. Then of course is impulse buying, okay? Nowadays, with all these online buying platforms like Lazada and Shopee, you know, they have become so convenient as apps on your phone. It's just so easy to buy, and buy. In fact, the kids have worked out that my credit card is tied to Lazada. So nobody's allowed to use my phone to look for Lazada items, right? And just, can I send to card? No, you cannot send to card. Do not send anything to the card. Okay, because I know they purposely make it convenient for you to do that. F stands for forgotten bills. Now, sometimes there are some bills that are paid annually, so it's quite easy to forget them. These include annual payments for insurance policies, right? Some can be monthly, some can be annually. The road tax on your vehicle, right? That's also due once a year as well. It could be even a subscription for association or club that you're in. Even that also you would pay once a year. So it's best to have like a bill calendar, right? A monthly bill calendar just to put in to see when these payments are due. Lastly, of course, is emergencies. So one of the key things of budgeting is to prepare for an emergency. This can be an unexpected home repair, right? Bad storm, lightning has hit your roof, right? Or a tree branch has fallen, on your tiles, you need to get that repaired quickly. Okay, car repairs. Oh, you just have to ask people who own cars. Especially if you drive an older car. I have an older car myself. So while I'm no longer paying the loan on the car, right, that has been settled many years ago, I still have to budget for repairs. Okay, so I need to weigh the sort of, do I need a newer car? A newer car would give me less problems. But then, you know, if I stick to my old car, it's pretty much free. You know, I don't have to make monthly payments to the bank for 5 years, you know, or 7 years. So, you know, it comes with checks and balances. Anyway, it's a pretty reliable car. I've seen cars up to what, 20 years old. So I suppose until the bumper falls off, I think I will still hang on to it. The other emergency, aside from home and car repairs, are medical emergencies. Yeah, maybe I should have put that in. So medical emergencies also is something that you need to prepare for. Definitely by having at least an insurance policy, so that would help. But oftentimes, if you need to rush to a hospital, it's always better to have ready cash. So either in the form of your credit card, right? Some people have their medical health card that can be used. Okay, so these are some of the good things to have during an emergency. Now, in step 4, all right, what are the items that go into your budget? Definitely budget for fixed expenses. So these are all your loans, right? If you pay rent, then it's your rental. Your credit card bills have to be paid. Wi-Fi, right? The Wi-Fi package, your phone bill, PNB, your electricity bill, even for groceries, okay? Definitely a lot more items than this, and all this goes into your budgeted fixed expenses. Now, step 5 talks about budget variable expenses. So variable expenses don't happen so often. This could be expenses like your car servicing, right? Every few months, you need to service your car, whether it's just to change the oil, get certain things serviced, and so on. So normally you would know what this is, and perhaps it turns up every 3 months or so. Step 6, record your spending amounts, and this is where you can just use an app. You can use apps like a budget, right? Budget apps. You can use Money Manager and so on. Step 7, the last step is to review your spending and savings pattern. So you can see if you use an app, then like I said earlier, you can have a nice dashboard showing where are your biggest areas of expenses. This is a money management SWOT analysis. I think everyone knows what a SWOT is. So if you look at some of the internal personal factors, right? What are some of the strengths we can look for? Try saving at least 5 to 10% of your income, right? Informed on personal finance topics. So definitely, I think all of you all are on the right track simply by being here this evening. Try not to have any credit card debt, okay? Or use it and perhaps pay in full every month where you can. And also having flexible job skills. So this is where you can increase your income. Some of the weaknesses, right, on a personal level would be having a high level of credit card debt. Okay. Now, sometimes these are unavoidable. You may have incurred a high level of credit card debt, perhaps due to a medical emergency, right? Still a weakness. And yeah, and you didn't have any emergency funds, so you had to charge it on your credit card. Your car servicing and maintenance, like I said, you know, all flash, no cash. One of the things you need to look out for when you buy a car is what would be the regular maintenance fees. Someone just told me, I told my friend, how come you don't own a BMW? She lives in Bangsa, you see. So we went to Bangsa shopping complex the other day and we were in the car park. There was an entire row of BMWs, very nice. Guess what? To change one tire of a BMW is 5,000 ringgit. I think we agree that we rather go on holiday than spending it on one tire. According to my uncle who owns a BMW, to change one headlight of a BMW is 2,000 ringgit. To change my Kalisa headlight was 400 ringgit. It's still not cheap. Huh? So these are some of the checks and balances. Another weakness, of course, is having a low cash inflow, right? If you want to spend, then you have to earn that money as well. Next, we look at some of the external and economic social influences. All right, what are the opportunities that are available, right, in terms of budgeting? Definitely the phone apps for monitoring finance, right? Like I said, you could indulge in some part-time work to supplement your income. Like I said, money-making hobbies are always good, right? Whether you're a baker, you like to do some DJing work. Some people do MCing, right? They just enjoy it, and that's a good hobby to have. You could also play pool for competitions. Availability of no fee banking account, right? We do have some of that. And of course, doing some research into getting a low interest loan. Now, what are some threats? Okay, some threats, loss of employment, right? Loss of employment is a huge threat depending on which industry it is. Looking at the pandemic, right? The way the pandemic have gone, many people have lost their jobs, particularly in the hotel industry, the tourism industry. So you need to see how sort of recession proof, right, or crisis proof your job is. If you find, in fact, prior to this, in 2016 onwards, when the price of oil started decreasing, right, at one point the price of oil was about 120 US dollars per barrel. It went as low as 60, lost 50% of its value. 60, not mistaken, it even went to 30 US dollars per barrel. A lot of the oil and gas executives lost their job. So you can see places like Mont Kiara and Publica suddenly very quiet. Why? The expats have been told to pack and go home. Okay, they've all been retrenched. So you have to look at your industry and see how the employment pattern is. Reduced home value. Yes, again, we all assume that property appreciates with time. But again, there are small exceptions. Might be, I don't know, for whatever reason. If you live in, earthquake prone areas or areas that are prone to typhoons and tornadoes, even forest fires, if you notice in Australia and California, their homes have just been razed to the ground. Okay, and that definitely is a threat. As well, last one, increased cost of living. Now, cost of living is just not going to go down, right? In Malaysia, we have food inflation, right? The prices of a lot of our food, especially vegetables and eggs and meat, have increased over time. We also have medical inflation, right? Cost of treatments are becoming more expensive. So these are some of the threats that we need to prepare for. So let's look at savings. My favorite story. Everyone heard of this story? The grasshopper and the ant. A very famous Aesop's fable story. Right? And in just a few lines, they managed to explain so much. Right? All summer long, the grasshopper sang and played while the ant worked hard saving food for winter. When winter arrived, the starving grasshopper begged the ant for food. The ant admonished the grasshopper for its idleness. So this is a very, very good in saying and finding sure. Okay. So instead of delving into savings tools straight away, I'd like to look at some of the concepts, behaviors, and motivation. So this is some of the research I did during my PhD, right? So far more important than how to save is the concepts and the behavior of saving. So one of the things that my research uncovered is the parents' influence, whether actually your family in general. It could be your grandparents, you're close to your uncles and aunts, and of course your parents. If your parents and grandparents are savers, you are highly likely to become a saver yourself. Okay, so this is typically we don't realize it, but we tend to copy what is in our environment. So if we find that our parents are saving, for some inexplicable reason, we also start saving. All right, so that helps. At an individual level, your self-control is very important. Okay, you, Junhang, I can see you nodding away. Careful your head on your neck. You
Because I
might.
totally agree with you.
Thank you. So sometimes you need a certain level of self-control and discipline. Always ask yourself, right? Do I need that? Do I need another phone cover? No. Okay. Do I need another TV? No. In fact, you should see my husband and myself. We are just total opposites. Total opposites. My husband will say, "Oh, we need to buy a new TV." And I'll be like, "Is the current TV broken?" He's like, "No, the new LED TV is out." I'll be like, "What's an LED TV?" I think we've had about 5 TVs in the last 10 years or so. Not me. The next concept is the forced savings concept. So forced savings is really good, right, in a way. This is where we have direct debits. Okay, you can straight away direct debit for your investment plan. For example, you can have direct debit investments. Okay, there are quite a number of investments that would actually, you can instruct the bank to just take your money out every month and put it into a retirement fund or an investment account such as the unit trust. The other thing, when you start working, right, another forced saving is your retirement, right, retirement deductions. So in Malaysia, right, in Malaysia, we have a very famous Employees Provident Fund, right, EPF. In fact, for a really tiny country like Malaysia, I believe our Provident Fund is the number 4th in the world. We are sitting on something like, see my numbers, 200 trillion US dollars. All right, that is the amount of savings. It's all our money, all the working adults who contribute to the EPF. Are you curious to know who is number 1, 2, and 3 if Malaysia is number 4? Number one highest savings fund in the world belongs to the government of Japan. Okay, number 2 is, I think number 2 is Norway. The Norwegians have very high or a very valuable pension fund, followed by the Koreans. Okay, then comes Malaysia. Now, all these countries are fairly big, quite a lot of money. So the fact that Malaysia is number 4 with our fairly tiny population of 32 million. In fact, there are only, I think I checked and saw for EPF, there's only about 1 million active contributors. And one of the, I think, biggest jobs that EPF has, their mandate is to save our money from the politicians. They always have grand plans for EPF money, but they're not allowed to touch it. All right, moving on. Your emergency fund provision, right? You need to have enough cash. Okay, you don't need to have cash. You can just have it in a fixed deposit account or something, but enough to cover 6 months expenses. So imagine the threats, like I mentioned earlier, on loss of employment. So if you suddenly lose your job or you have been retrenched, then at least you can manage for 6 months. Okay. Then of course there are concepts known as the time value of money, right? So time value of money covers things like your compound interest versus your simple interest. So very quickly, what is compound and simple interest? I have a little table here to explain it. Now, simple interest is just interest on the principal alone, right? So if you have $200 invested with a rate of 3% for 2 years, so just 200 times 3%, then you will earn an annual interest of $6. And this won't change. Even if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it's just going to be $6, $6, $6. So at the end of 2 years, you will earn a total interest of 12. But compound interest, if you put in the same 200, invested again, same, 3% for 2 years. Now, the first year interest is always the same at $6. But the second year, here's where things get interesting. Now, the second year's interest is based on 206, which is your initial capital of 200 plus the first year interest of $6. And we times this by 3%. So now, in the second year, you have earned an interest of $6.18. So the extra 18 cents is what we call the power of compounding, all right? And you earn a total interest of $12.18. So can you imagine if the numbers were bigger? if you had saved 2,000 instead, right? Or even double, 4,000. With compounding, your interest is also compounded, right? So definitely in banking, for all savings, we use compound interest. And sometimes you will see banks advertising how often they compound. So you can compound on a monthly basis, you can compound on a daily basis, also can, every day also you can compound, right? And you will earn just that little bit extra, okay? Now let's look at credit management, right? What is happening around us, right? Particularly manager. So this is here we look at how interest rates can actually influence our spending. So if we look at the top sort of percentage of household debts in Malaysia, typically we've got the housing loan, the car loan, the personal loan, and the credit cards. So this data was taken as at the end of 2018. Right? Now, all this data is publicly available. So it's actually, you can just look up the Bank Negara's website. So currently, well, this was in 2018. So there was about a total of 765 billion in debt. And these are known as consumer loans. The largest percentage of debt comes from housing loans. This is normally not a concern because housing loans are collateralized. If anything happens to the person, then of course the house itself has some value, not a problem. About 20% are from car loans, right? Not so great debts. Personal loans only make up 6%, whereas credit cards is less than 5%, right? Now, if we look at the interest rates that are being charged for these types of loans, the lowest is the housing loan, simply because it has collateral. So it's only about 4.6%. How do banks make money? It's the duration of your loan. So your housing loan can typically take 30 years to pay, all right? And the bank is assured of that income for the next 30 years. However, your car loan, even if the rates currently are at about 3%, we also need to factor in the depreciation of the car, which normally in accounting terms, we take 20% a year. So the car is fully depreciated after 5 years. At the end of the day, the loss on the car is quite high, right? If you notice, it's the highest at 23%. Personal loan, not so bad, right? About 8.5%. And of course, the second highest amount are the credit card interest. Credit card interest maximum is 17%. But you must remember this is charged on a monthly basis. So just like how we compound for interest, the credit card is also compounding your debt on a monthly basis, especially if you do not pay off your amount. So in terms of interest, where is the bank's money coming from? Car loans, number one, area. Number two, housing loan, right? Number three, credit card, okay, because of the high interest. However, there are banks, if you maintain a good payment habit, right? You pay promptly every month. I think you can go as low as 13%. So there is a reward for good payment behavior. Okay, in terms of percentage, again, the interest largest percent comes from the car loan, right? For 51% of the interest that is earned comes from car loan, followed by housing, right? Then is credit card. Okay, credit card is 9%, and then lastly the personal loan. Okay. Now, I think if some of you may have spotted some anomaly here. If personal loans consist such a small amount, right? Only 6%, interest also okay, percentage also very small of the interest payable. Why is it the highest reason for bankruptcy, right? Simply because at one point, banks were giving personal loans to people who were ineligible for it, meaning that they just could not afford to pay, all right? And since no collateral was required, and at the time there was little rules and regulations, so it was actually one avenue to sort of freely give people money, right? Without checking on their payment ability. So since then, Bank Negara has clamped down on this practice and put in a lot of guidelines to make sure that people can afford to pay these loans that they are taking. Okay, a very quick look at the banking services. So of course, in Malaysia, one of the best places to go to is a bank, right? So in terms of a strategy for managing your cash, you could have separate accounts, right, for your daily expenses. So this could come with an ATM card. But for accounts that you want to maintain long-term savings, perhaps you could just not have the ATM card, right? So that would make it very difficult for you to get money out. And the money is very safe into the account. So in these days at times, it's actually very rare that you actually need to walk into a bank. So if you don't have an ATM card and you don't have internet banking, then the savings there is quite safe. Now, what are the types of financial institutions that are available? We have a number of local banks in Malaysia, I think about 9, right? And then we also have about 5 foreign banks as well. Where and how to open an account? Normally, I believe the rule of thumb is your bank should be convenient for you. So either the bank that is nearest to your house or the bank that is nearest to your workplace. Okay, yeah, that's generally how most of us get started. And typically you would go to a bank which is the same bank as your parents, all right, which is what I did as well. So I opened, I think, my first account with Public Bank, same account as my mom and my grandma. And now my daughter also has an account there. So we have 4 generations of the family banking with Public Bank. So, a big thank you to Uncle Teh Hong Piao, right? Public Bank again has just recently posted a good profit, okay, for the year. Next, in terms of foreign banks, I think our top foreign bank is Citibank. Okay, they don't have many branches, but they typically cater to high net individuals. So if you're involved in business and you have multinational dealings, then Citibank and StanChart, right, would be your top pick. I think the other one is HSBC, right? HSBC also does provide a good package if you want to open your own business. So they have special SME loans they can give you, right? This comes with the business loan, an overdraft facility, an account that basically helps you to run your business better. So you need to do some homework when you are looking into all this. The other 2, I believe, are the Singaporean banks, OCBC and OUB. So those are the 5 foreign banks. What are the types of savings and investment plans? So the most trusted, choice of many Malaysians is the fixed deposit. Right? It's very low risk, but typically also about low returns. It's one of the lowest at 3% for all the financial, or investment tools. Fixed deposit, yeah, low risk, low return. The other one that is slightly higher risky with slightly higher return are the unit trust investments. Okay, so a number of banks would have them. The top unit trust company in Malaysia is again Public Mutual. Public Mutual is number 1. Number 2 is, I think, Maybank, and a few others, quite a number. And this is open to all. These are not special. These are not just for rich people and of sorts. I certainly don't count myself as a rich person. Next, you need to evaluate your savings plans, right? Monitor your risk and returns on what is happening. As I mentioned before, nowadays we have quite a open payment methods. In fact, I have not, if you notice, I have not actually updated this for e-wallets as well. So you got internet banking, you got mobile apps. Okay. Now we have so many types of e-wallets, isn't it? E-wallet. So what is some of the popular ones? Touch and Go. Anyone else? Grab, yes, Grab has jumped in as well. Quite smart, isn't it? Grab Cash is.
Shopee Pay.
Shopee also got their own one.
Yep.
Okay, I hope Bank Negara is watching all these people, making sure that your money is safe. All right. So many payment apps and payment platforms, which is actually good. Yes, Do It Now. I've heard of Do It Now. You just pick your favorite ones and use them. All right. I have to touch it. Sorry?
Lazada wallet.
Lazada also got wallet. I see. I'm also going to have a wallet soon. I'm going to call it Shanti wallet or something. Right? So yes, pick one, I suppose, and stick to it. You know, don't simply go and put money in and then lose it at some end of the day. Those days in my time, we had something called Maps Cash. Yeah, it's so obsolete now. You know? Right, moving on. Oh, I need to clear all this if I move. Consumer credit, so we have touched on this already. Okay, various types of consumer credit, typically known as either closed-end or open-end. So closed-end is normally loans taken for a very specific purpose, right? Like I mentioned, the car and the house. The open-end is what also we call revolving credit. This is like your credit cards, right? Because credit cards typically don't end unless you pay it off. Measuring your credit capacity. So this is very important. Banks typically will use your net income to assess your credit worthiness. So before you purchase a car, you can visit any number of the banking websites, or even I think Perodua, right? Perodua or the car sellers, they also will have how much loan you can take, the price of the car, what sort of installment plans, payment, all right, depending on how much you put down as a down payment for the vehicle. So you can actually do your own research when it comes to assessing the credit worthiness. Then comes of CCRIS. This is our very famous Central Credit Reference Information System. This system is housed in Bank Negara. It keeps a credit check, okay? A lot of people mistakenly think that it's a blacklist system. It is not. Bank Negara did not blacklist you. You blacklisted yourself by not paying your debts on time. So if you have to go in personally to request this report. So if at any time you find yourself near Bank Negara in town, you can visit the link, right? There's a customer link service with your IC. There's a kiosk there. Put your IC, just key in your data, and it will give you a printout. Now, all the printout has is, there's no deposit information. So no information about your savings, only your debt. So you will see all your credit cards, right? All your loans, and it just shows you total debt, and all it shows you is from January to December whether you paid on time. If you paid on time, it's 0. If you paid late or didn't pay, it's a 1. So better to have all zeros rather than some zeros and ones. Basically, they want to check good conduct of account. So you see all zeros, wonderful. Then you have good conduct of account. The other thing that you may have heard of, right, is CTOS. Okay, CTOS. Now, CTOS is known as a credit tip-off system. This is a private company. This is Credit CTOS. CTOS is Sendirian Berhad. It's not owned by any bank. CTOS is run privately. What they do is they obtain your financial information from the newspapers. Anyone still read newspapers? Do you see the bankruptcy notices there every day? Right? Lots of bankruptcy notices. And what are they looking for? Your IC number. So they will take all the bankruptcy notices and they will put it into the system. Okay. Of course, now CTOS is trying to be more consumer friendly, right? You can apply to them. You can get your score and so on. Okay. But like I said, this is a private company. So many sort of banks, financial institutions are members, so they can get credit information from there. At the end of the day, right, you need to keep a record of your conduct of account, right? For example, your total payment record and total liabilities, all right, within the Malaysian financial system. So now CCRIS has expanded to not just financial institutions, they are also part of Aeon Credit, right? Aeon offers consumer credit for purchases. So they also have information from Aeon Credit. Who else? What's that furniture company? Courts Mehmet. Courts Mehmet also, because now you can buy furniture on hire purchase as well. Okay, so all of them have to contribute to this CCRIS. Yes, all your debt is made known. Somebody was asking about debt. Yes, don't expose your debts here. But it's all there, Aisha. No hiding debts. You can hide your savings. That one nobody is bothered. We're just concerned about your debt only. Okay. We're coming closer to the end. So in terms of comparing credit plans, some of the better websites are savemoney.my, right? Loanstreet.com. You know, nowadays it's so good. You can click on all the products and they'll show you a nice table. Who has the highest child deposit account? Who is offering the highest fixed deposit interest, right? Not a problem. In terms of cost of credit, what do we need to do? Check for fees. Credit card all not free, right? You have an annual fee that you have to pay. I'm only talking about credit card purchases. I'm not even talking about credit card cash advances. Far more expensive. The interest rates I mentioned already earlier in the table. And of course, penalties for late payment and non-payment. So whenever you are applying for credit, it pays to be prudent. All right. So what are some of the issues related to consumer credit? Always beware of your rights. You as a consumer have rights as well. Okay. And complaints can be made to Bank Negara Malaysia. You can go to their website for complaint information. They have something called a Financial Mediation Bureau as well. You can also complain to the various consumer association. So we have the Financial Mediation Bureau. We have got FOMCAL, Federation of Malaysian Consumer Associations. Every state has a consumer association in Malaysia, but the most famous and the most active consumer association is the Consumer Association of Penang. Penang is always very active compared to the other states. So they're one of the top consumer associations. And they're always very good at spotting things. You know, they're one of the ones who highlighted the dangers of the personal loans and all that. It was getting out of hand and so on. So here are some useful websites that you can check, right? We have the Forbes.com, new grads, what to do with your first paycheck. Thanks so much, right? I think first paycheck not enough, we need second and third paychecks as well. Okay, EPF, KWSP, if you need more information, SOXO, of course, right? For your social insurance. So good luck in your financial future. I wish you all the best, right? The fact, like I said, you are in this talk itself, you know, puts you ahead of the pack. So what are my pictures here? Take these first steps to better manage your finances. Yes, wonderful. These are the eggs in the basket, right? All these eggs in one basket. And definitely the ultimate aim, I believe, is financial freedom. Nothing gives you more peace of mind. I sleep like a baby every night, right? Know your expenses, right? These are your goals. So many goals here, whether it's retirement, a vacation, college, right? Education, healthcare, insurance, a new car, so many things there on this little savings, right? Piggy. Okay, thank you for being such a good audience. I will pass on to Harif now. I can see the chat just lighting up. Oh, okay.
Okay, hi, hello. Dr. Shanti, there's no, I thought you have another Kahoot session.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't turn my slides. Yes, yes. There is one more last Kahoot session, right? There are prizes for the top 3 entrants. Let me just get to the Kahoot page. Here we are. Host. Okay, loading. Okay, here's the pin 7142303. Okay, so prizes from Taylor's AKPK for the top 3 winners. Hanji Sung, J, M, then, hello there, okay, A. Oh, this one is a bit harder. Hope it's more challenging than the first one. Afiq, where are you? Lanka. Oh, Afiq is here. Okay, great. Not gonna win.
Excuse me, doctor. Would you mind type the pin code in the chatting box?
Can,
I got my keyboard issue. Sorry.
can. Hold on. Seven one four two three zero three. Oh, happy Chap Tomi. Any more joining in? 7142303. Prizes for the top 3 winners. Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, part 2. So step 2 of budgeting is, what was step 2? Okay, hey, step 2. Setting financial goals is step 1. So step 2 is estimating income. All right, Afiq has taken the lead. Catch up, Jay and Tumon. Which of the following is a tool for savings? One more answer. Yes, fixed deposit. The rest are all actually credit card, and hire purchase are just loans. Internet banking is not a tool, it's just a platform. Okay, still Afiq and Jay, neck to neck. Question 3. You are opening a savings account that earns compound interest. Which frequency will earn you the most money? Yes, daily compounding, the more frequent it is, the higher the compound interest. Okay, there's a change between the second, third, and fourth. Next, fourth question. To earn highest interest, open a savings account that earns what interest with what interest rate? Okay, good. Yes, compound interest with the highest rate. Okay. Afiq is still the undisputed champion. This one, do you still remember a story? All summer long, the Who sang and played while the Who worked hard saving food for winter. Is it the Beetle and the Chicha? Okay, someone still got it wrong. Butterfly and the bee. No, not quite. Yes, the grasshopper and the ant. So we can actually, take away a lot of this from the fables. There's actually quite a number. If you heard about the man who killed the golden goose, right? That's one of it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, now we have Afiq, Jack, hello there, and Dut. Number 6, which is a savings and investment tool? Very good. Okay, yes, unit trust. What were the other answers? Hire purchase is a loan. Wine and art are investments, but they're not savings. Okay, Afiq, Jack, Jay, and Kumon. Getting closer to the end. Emergency funds should typically cover how many months' expenses? Is it 3, 6, 9, or 12? Oh, okay. A lot of mixed answers. Yes, should typically cover 6. It's not me who said it. Okay, according to the research, they say 6 months. Even EPF also says 6 months. Okay, Afiq, Tumon, Jay, and Jack. There's a lot of fight for second and third place. Question number 8. An example of an unconventional savings instrument. Okay, yes, gold. We don't really call it as a conventional savings instrument, but being Asian, I think most of us Asian, we have an affinity for buying gold, right? And definitely those days when people were not so literate, right, and banks were not so freely available, one of the best ways to save money was to buy gold, okay? Even now, it's actually quite a good thing to do as well. Okay, Afiq, Jack, Tumon, and Jay. True or false, a good example of a budget buster is unexpected home and car repairs. Yes, true. They tend to burst your budget. As it is, it's unexpected. So let's say you have a hole in your roof, or you have especially plumbing issues as well, your kitchen sink, your toilet, which is why you need to have some emergency funds. All right, Afiq is on fire here. Yep, Jack, Jay, and hello there. Last question. Let's see if you can get this one. The organization is responsible for all of the below except, look at the picture. What does Bank Negara Malaysia do? I always like that picture. Except, yes. Oh, okay. Number 3, hello there, congratulations. J, number 2, and number 1. I wonder who it could be. Afiq.
It's obvious.
Okay, so guys, Afiq, Jay, and hello there. Don't forget to claim your prize, as well as the winner just now for the previous game. Don't forget to DM us and claim your prize.
Okay, just stop. So Afiq, Jay, and hello there. All right. How to claim? Alex is asking.
Oh, sorry. You guys can DM us at AKPK on IG. To Afiq, you can claim 2 prizes. Yep. So,
yes.
do you have anything else to continue, Dr. Shanti?
I think there's supposed to be a question and answer. You still want to do that?
Yeah. Now is the question and answer. So if anyone have any questions, feel free to send it in the chat, and Dr. Shanti will answer them. Anyone? There's one question. Is there such thing as education loan?
Yes, there is. There is a few types that are available. One is, I'm not sure if you've heard of PTPTN. PTPTN gives out education loans. Let me just spell it out. PTPTN. It's a long word, something pendidikan or something perusahaan. But the PTPTN is for higher education. There are two ways this can happen. Your parents can actually open an account for children, right? But you, as a young adult, can also apply for a loan. I think some of the cons of this is it won't cover the entire tuition, only a portion of it. So it's not like 100% education loan. The other way is the scholarships offered by the universities itself. So different universities have various scholarship schemes that you can apply for. But a lot of them, you either need to excel in your exam results, right? That's one. The other one is like a sports scholarship where you excel in a certain sport. When I say excel means you need to represent the country, yeah? Right? It's not just your school or anything. You need to be higher than SUKMA, higher than district. Okay, sorry, not higher. SUKMA representing your country lah. Sukan Malaysia and so on. So they have different categories that you can look up for education loans. There are also many private organizations that offer. Occasionally, you will see in the newspapers, even Bank Negara offers education scholarships. But again, they would prioritize top scorers, as particular co-curriculum activities as well as sports. Otherwise, you can look into your own communities. All right, certain communities do have education loans and scholarships that they offer. Let's say you are Hokkien. You can actually go and check with the Clan Hokkien Association, right? They would have something like that. The other one, like I'm also, a particular community, and I think there are some education loans offered within my community as well. So you can look into those areas.
I
But
see.
it is for everyone.
Okay, so do anyone have any other questions?
Sometimes where your parents work, like your parents' workplace, some of them do offer. Like my dad was with Tenaga Nasional Berhad, TNB. So I completed the balance of my education with a loan from Yayasan TNB. If you are born in the state of Pahang, you can apply for Yayasan Pahang also. I think there's Yayasan Pahang, Yayasan Perak or something like that.
So like all these yayasans considered as like education loan.
Yes, they do give out education
So
loans.
how about if the government give education loan to give scholarships to students to study abroad, and then they have to serve the country
Yes, you must
for
meet
like certain period of time, that considered as education loan.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's more of a scholarship. Like with Yayasan TNB, they first give you the money, but when it comes to payback, they look at your results. If you get a first class honors, then you don't have to pay back. If you get second class, then you just pay back 50%, which is what I did. I only had to pay back half the loan. I think PTPTN also has something like that. I'm not sure, you have to check because PTPTN keeps changing all the time. The rules.
See. Thank you.
The other one is Mara, of course. Mara also gives out loans.
I think most of GLC companies, TM, Petronas, they all have loans, right?
Khazanah gives out, but mainly for postgraduate studies. Khazanah doesn't really give for undergraduate. Khazanah gives for masters and doctoral degrees. But PNB and all give quite a number. Like I said, you need to go and look. Even the other one, this Genting also has. Genting also has a few, the big companies.
I think Celcom also have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, is this considered as scholarship or education loan? Because like they have to go in a contract which they have to serve the company for a certain period of time.
Petronas, normally you have to serve the company.
Anyway, we have another question. Is insurance included in our saving accounts?
No, there is no insurance component in the savings account.
see.
Normally, insurance components you have in some of the unit trust funds, it comes with the takaful component with it, especially I didn't really go into the conventional versus the Sharia investments, but quite a number of Sharia investments in unit trust come with the takaful plan, which is the insurance. But the conventional savings and accounts and all, they don't. Banking normally they won't give like these sorts of products. Unit trust, yes, they have combined some of it.
Okay, another question. How does a personal loan differ from credit card loans? Sounds the same only.
All very different. The personal loan, if you take for 10,000, then that's just your personal loan. After that, you pay according to the duration plus your interest, right? So that's your personal loan. Normally, they don't ask you for any kind of collateral. They just look at your income. A credit card, however, is a product. Like I don't have a personal loan. I've never had one, but I do have credit cards. I love my credit cards. Right? So credit card is a product, a financial product. So typically the two famous ones are Visa and MasterCard, depending on your banking institution. So credit card, typically you can spend up to your credit limit. And every month you only need to pay a minimum of 5%. However, it does attract an interest of maximum interest of 17% per annum. And this is compounded monthly. Unlike a personal loan don't have all this compounding and things like that. It's just a straight up loan. Oh, nice. There's another question there, Harry.
Okay, yeah, there's another one. Are all bank accounts in Malaysia protected by PIDM?
All savings accounts, yes, are protected by PIDM. Let me see, what is it called? Persatuan Insurance. It's a deposit insurance scheme by Malaysia. So let's say, touch wood somewhere. Okay, I'm touching wood. Let's say a bank collapses overnight, right? What happens to the depositor's money? So as long as your amount, PIDM insures up to 60,000 per account. So let's say if my savings account has a couple of thousand in it, it is fully insured. So I will get my money back. However, if you're holding a fixed deposit in about 100,000, you're actually only insured up to 60,000. Certain products are not insured by PIDM, such as the gold account and of course all your debts. All these are not part. You will see a small print at the bottom, PIDM. Then you know it is insured. But only up to 60,000. A lot of people don't know this. Miss, how much money do you spend on insurance per month? Good question. Personally, I spend every month I pay almost 1,000 ringgit in insurance. I personally have a life, all right? I have a life insurance because I have a kid, right? About my child, and I have medical. Medical, I am insured up to 99 years old, I just upgraded my medical some years back. So now I'm insured to 99 years old, up to 1.2 million. I'm still wondering if it's enough. You know how they come up with those cancer charts, cancer treatment. I was like, okay. But apparently if I don't make a medical claim, my claim amount increases. So, fingers crossed, we'll reach 99 with all my body parts intact. My third insurance policy is for my daughter. So I've taken an education policy for her. It should mature when she's 16. So when she's 16, then I can take the money and but it's still not enough for her education. I think, our fees itself is coming to about 100,000 really. My child is only 9. In another 7 years time, I don't know, it might double or not. But anyway, it's just a forced savings. It's just something that I do every month. Okay, investment linked or savings insurance. Now, the financial planning experts will tell you that insurance is not a savings. Insurance is, the proper definition of insurance is to manage risk, right? The risk of medical illness, okay, if I fall sick or if there is disability, right, or total permanent disability and so on. by right, it should not be used as a savings instrument. There are so many other tools and instruments you can use instead of the insurance. So when you buy car insurance, when you buy home insurance, it's just to protect against a risk. However, having said that, I was quite lucky in my young days. You know, there is something known as an endowment policy. I managed to buy an endowment policy for just 100 ringgit a month. Of course, this was like 20 years ago, my first job 25 years ago. You can't really get such a good deal nowadays. So my endowment policy promises to pay me, I can't remember the numbers already, it's been so long, something like 50 or 60,000 plus when I am 50 something. So I've chosen my investments in such a way they will mature roughly when I'm about 50 to 55, because one of my goals is to pay off the housing loan. So, you know, I can use my EPF. They tell you don't use your EPF money also, but, you know, if I can reduce my monthly housing loan payments around that age and settle off. This is my biggest loan, my house.
Okay, another question, Dr. Shanti. Any best method or safest way in saving money and budgeting? Which is the most popular bank in Malaysia by Raphael?
Well, whichever bank you know is the most popular bank, I suppose. If anybody wants to shout out a couple of names of banks, I believe we have about 12 banks, 12 local banks and 5 foreign banks. So who's your favorite bank at the moment? Harith, who are you banking with?
Maybank.
Right, maybe
Tiger, please.
Tiger, right? Nothing
Yep.
like Tiger. There. This is my bank.
We have the Sotong Bank, which is MV.
CIMB, of course. Who else?
How about
Ashwin,
OCBC?
bank with?
Maybank. Currently
Also,
with Maybank. Yeah.
anyone else? We still have Hong Leong, Public Bank, Affin Bank. I live in USG, so
RHB,
RHB, Taipan has all the banks here.
M-Bank.
M-Bank. M-Bank is one of the highest for car loans. They give one of the best car loan rates. I think they are the number one in terms of car loan. Malaysian banking history goes way back. I think our oldest bank is about 100 or 200 years old, maybe 150 years old. Especially banks like those days, I think if you have grandparents, they'll be talking about Chartered Bank. And I'm like, it's not Chartered, it's Standard Chartered. No, it's Chartered. It's Chartered and then they merged with Standard Bank and then became Standard Chartered. Especially if you're in Penang, if you go to Beach Street, you will find Standard Chartered and Hong Kong Bank, Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. Same thing lah, Hong Kong Bank merged with Shanghai Bank and then became HSBC. Actually, banking history is very interesting, especially in Malaysia. You'll find that, I know we call them foreign banks, but they've been here longer than you and I. In fact, our local banks are the newer banks. The oldest bank in Malaysia, I forgot the name of this bank, no more already, I think, at the time. Very small banks. Those days, banks were set up by those in the rubber industry. And a lot of the rubber plantations were owned by people like Sime Darby and so on. So they brought their banks here as well, so they could transact money and transactions. In fact, one of the second oldest bank is most likely Ban Hin Lee. I don't know if you remember. Ban Hin Lee also has been merged. At one point in Malaysian history, Prime Minister Mahathir felt we had too many banks and they were not properly capitalized. So he set a target of 10 local banks only. So all the banks were scrambling to find partners to make their banks bigger and stronger. CIMB, I think, merged with Southern Bank. Southern Bank was a very good bank at the time, I still recall, but they were small. Who else merged so long ago? Maybank merged with Pacific Bank, all right? Pacific Bank those days. Anyway, the banks that lost out on the license were banks like RHB, at the time. RHB stands for Rashid Hussain Berhad. Rashid Hussain. Big drama those days. Rashid Hussain went to see the PM literally to beg for another banking license, and then he gave two. I think he gave to Rashid Hussain and M Bank at the time. M Bank is who? Rahman. I remember his name. His daughter is an entertainer.
Yeah, it's Miss Nina. The daughter
Yes.
is Miss Nina, and then the current one is, I think, Tan Sri Azman. I'm not sure.
Those days, it was all very glamorous to be working in banking industries.
Sorry. Yep.
But Maybank is number one simply because it used to be the government's bank until the government stopped banking with one and decided to spread their business around. RHP is doing very well because it is part owned by EPF. EPF has bought into RHP. So all the EPF transactions will go through RHP Bank. Public Bank has always been there. Public Bank is a very conservative bank from the beginning. Sounds like my family also, which is most likely why my grandmother opened in Public Bank those days. Very conservative. They used to call it the reason why it's called Public Bank, they call it the People's Bank. Always for the small people, the people with just small money. Staff was always very friendly. In fact, I used to be going there as a child. I used to see the traders, they write the deposit slip in Chinese. You can write in Chinese and just give it to them. It's acceptable. Even till today, you can still write your deposit slip in Chinese and pass to the bank staff. I got one loan with them also. Quite a friendly bank overall.
Nice.
So you can we'll just go with what your parents and grandparents will be doing. Hong Leong is okay, it's owned by Kwek Leng Chan, right? If you've heard, one of the top 10 Malaysian richest. He not only owns Hong Leong Bank, he also owns Guaco Land, property development. His cousin is also quite famous in Singapore, Kwek Leng Bank.
I think he's one of the richest man in Malaysia.
Top 10 also.
Top 10, yeah.
Kwek Leng Chan. A lot of businesses, quite diversified. What are the other banks? Anything else? If you let me know, I can give you a history of it already. I think what I didn't mention earlier was I used to work in Bank Negara many years ago. The job before this tailors was with Bank Negara. I was there for about 5.5 years. In fact, I was one of those people who brought this chip card to you. I was on the task force to chipify our credit cards at the time. It was a lot of work. So I knew all the ATM managers, all the credit card people from those days.
Okay, anyone have any other questions?
All good, all ready to start your savings plan. A Nigerian bank keeps messaging me on Skype. Oh, apparently I'm rich over there. Good for you. Believe it or not, I've won the Italian lottery many times over. Yeah, a lot of scams these days. It's just unbelievable. But I heard the people who fall for it, they are very convincing over the phone. So I think, you have to be very careful. But I find that a lot of people seem to be targeted. A lot of government pensioners, teachers in particular, you get this call saying that your account has been frozen because of a case in the High Court from the Along. Okay, if you have never dealt with the Along, why are you afraid of your accounts being frozen? I think, go and freeze lah, it's okay. I don't think they will just call you on the phone like that so easily, right? But I find the last lady who was scammed, she made 104 transactions. I am so lazy to go to the bank just for one transaction. You expect me to go there for 104 transactions? There must be something else.
Okay, anyone? Okay, so I guess this bring up to the end of the session.
Okay. Oh, I think there's one last question, Harith. Do you mind?
We have another one. Okay.
How did you spend your first salary?
Oh, yeah, interesting question.
First salary, my best advice is take your family out for a good dinner. Say thank you to everybody who put you through school to get you this job. Second salary, now we talk savings and investment. First salary, I bought my grandma 2 sarongs, in a different color. I think I bought my dad also one sarong and took them all out for dinner. There went my first salary, many years ago, my first job after graduation was at Concord Hotel. I'm actually quite happy to say that it was 1,600 ringgit.
Concord Hotel is in Shah Alam, is it?
Concord in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but in their sister hotels. Yeah, I was there as a management trainee after my degree. Yeah, my first salary was 1,600. Actually, it was so much money. I didn't know what to do with it. I've never seen that much, 1,600. I managed to save up enough to buy my first car, which was a Kalisa. I put down 7,000 as down payment. So I only had to pay about 30,000.
Okay. Do we have another questions? Any other questions?
Oh, so sorry. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Okay, fine. Okay, then I end the session now. Okay, firstly, on behalf of the Thales AKPK Club, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Dr. Shantini for being here and sharing your knowledge about financial management with us tonight. I believe that everyone here really enjoyed the session and managed to gain more knowledge on how to handle their finances. We appreciate you making time your busy schedule to speak to us. Thank you again for your time, Dr. Shantini.
Your feedback form, Harith?
Oh, yeah. And to everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. Please scan the QR code to access the feedback form. Once you have filled up the feedback form, you'll be able to receive a certificate of participation. If you are a Tellurians and not part of our club yet, scan the QR code to join our club. And lastly, do follow Thales AKPK on Instagram at thales.akpk for first-hand updates on future events and financial sharing sessions. I'll also like to take the opportunity to wish good luck for those who have their finance coming, and may the force be with you. Do stay safe and hope to see you guys in our next session. This is Haris signing off. Thank you.